So when I say people are losing their minds, I mean people are losing their minds. Okay. In the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, there is now an ongoing doxing campaign where people are being fired from their jobs because they celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. And I do not agree with celebrating this. I told you guys how I feel about that. But teachers and primarily are one of the professions that is really being targeted. But there is also a website now that has been created where people are offering up information that should not be public, like the address, etc., and is actually very dangerous. I am not in favor of doxing. I don't know how other people feel about that, but I think it's dangerous. I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right. I think people have a right to say what they want to say, whether I support it or not. But yes, teachers have already been fired because of this. Let's go ahead and get into this. And then I'm going to tell you why I think a lot of the teachers were targeted. Let's get into it.
So when public figures say kind of the right thing, we're going to highlight it here. We've been doing that with the likes of Governor Spencer Cox today. Later on in the show, we're going to talk about Senator Bernie Sanders. I was watching what he had to say earlier. But then there is the backlash when public officials are fired because of the way they have responded in some cases to Charlie Kirk's murder. And yes, indeed, we have seen some of that too. So News Nation Politics are powered by The Hill, and White House correspondent Alex Cantitano joins us on this from the North Lawn at the White House. So put up the headline from The Hill about teachers and firefighters, officials who are on leave, fired over their posts related to the Charlie Kirk murder. Alex, what do we know about this?
Yeah, we've seen teachers, college-level teachers that have been fired for largely because of things they've put on social media, saying, you know, this is karma or some other awful statements. That's this gut reaction that they've had to the murder of Charlie Kirk. They've decided to put out there, and it's interesting. I think it's notable that these are largely university professors or people in these positions of power, that it comes, you know, they're educators. They're people that are teaching the next generation versus someone just, you know, if you go on Reddit, you'll see people's personal takes on whatever issue and they can say anything they want, you know, when you're representing yourself. But if you're representing a higher institution or an office, you're an elected official or whatever else, you know, then it becomes this sticky territory.
And let me talk about that sticky territory. So I think the teachers was an easy target because teachers do work for the government. And people ask, like, do teachers work for the government? Technically, yes, they work for the state government. So when you are in those positions where you're working for like a local government or a federal government, it can make it so that some activity that you do outside of your profession can cause you to lose your job. And I'm not saying it has to be, you know, criminal. Obviously, criminal can cause that, but even activity or behavior that is not criminal. So people do have to remember that about teaching, is that you can lose your job because of this. Now, I'll give you a couple of examples. I have seen stories where teachers have been fired because they had an OnlyFans account, right? So they were provocative on OnlyFans. I've seen stories where teachers have been fired because of past behavior, where, like, let's say they did something, you know, kind of former stripper or something like that, but that was in the past. But in the internet age, those things have managed to resurface. Like, so teachers can be fired because of their behavior outside of the classroom. But this is going even further. It's not just people targeting teachers. They're targeting people from any and every profession, trying to get them fired. Now, when I say doxing is when someone goes after you and they leak or reveal information about you that is private or should be private or could greatly cause you harm, like giving people your address, your place of employment, your phone number, if that's not public, which a lot of us for nowadays isn't, those types of things, leaking or telling people who your kids are, what school they go to, those types of things. That's doxing. And now there seems to be this big old, like, kind of social media effort that is happening where people are saying, this account said this, put them on the folder, put them in a database. Someone created an entire database to basically mark and name people because they celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. And I got to say something about this. I told you guys I do not agree with the celebrating. At the same time, I find it very strange. I can't remember a time when I've seen this level of response for anyone's death. It's very strange to me because I've seen people make memes. I've seen people make jokes. I've seen people celebrate death of other people. People were celebrating the death of Hulk Hogan. But I've never seen this coordinated effort where people are going as far as to dox people because they did that, trying to get people fired because they did that. And so to me, it's just like, it's just really bizarre behavior. And I really don't think that this solves anything. I don't think that this is the answer.
I think you're right to display the positive, the things that people are saying, like Governor Cox, that is a message that we should all resonate with, versus people, spewing online their initial gut reactions to things that isn't appropriate, really, once I think they take a step back and think about it.
Yeah, because like George Will was saying a minute ago, and we have a choice, like media-wise, you're hosting a show, you're writing a column or whatever you're doing, that we can choose the voices we amplify, that we think are the most important. And that's why we keep going back to Governor Cox. That's why I've watched Bernie Sanders' comments, and we'll play them later, because, that's our choice. Yeah. Now, that said, it's not to say stories like this aren't important, but it speaks to the social media, at least to me, a lot. I mean, the governor himself was saying it was a cancer. I have a statement here that was put out in an opinion piece by Senator Mitch McConnell on some of this, that guardrails matter. Yeah. McConnell saying that they keep the American experiment rolling, and passionate disagreement is a sign of health. Political violence, like yesterday's sickening display, a sign of decay. So to excuse or encourage it is to place a cynical bet against America. So again, that's a public official. So another thought on this, maybe.
That's right.
Well,
yeah, Senator.
Before she gives her thought, there's something else that I wanted to add about this, because like I said, you guys, I've never seen this type of behavior before. And I've watched people make fun of, other people's deaths as well. But for whatever reason with this one, it's just so odd to me. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think maybe people need to take a break from social media as well. But guess who else is going to be a target here? Black Twitter. I still call it Twitter. Fuck you, Elon. Black Twitter is going to be a target because a lot of the tweets that I know that I saw, and some of you saw too, celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, came from Black Twitter. By Black Twitter, for those who don't know, I mean Black people who have Twitter accounts. But that is a big thing. I'm trying to tell you guys, when I say I'm pro free speech, I'm pro free speech. And if somebody says these things and I don't like it, then I just don't like it. It is what it is. But I do not want people to be targeted. I don't want people to be doxxed. Here's another thing about doxing people. The address that has been added to these databases or whatever, sometimes the public address isn't even correct. I've experienced this with myself. You may have experienced this where your address is listed as one thing and you don't even live there anymore. That's actually your previous address, but it still shows up on Google as that is a place where you lived or where you had lived. So they're putting addresses out there into the ether, into the open. And not only that, but that address may not be the actual address of the person that you're trying to dox. They may not even live there anymore, which also means that you could be targeting someone else. 2, putting people's addresses online like that puts them at risk. It also puts their children at risk. There are crazy people out there who will show up to someone's home and try to harm them because their name has been put there on that database. So it's scary. I never have approved with doxing. I've never agreed with this at all. And I think it's just absolutely ridiculous. You are basically making a targeted list. That's really what you're doing. She'll go on a little bit more here, and I'm going to show you that website.
Senator McConnell is that old school politician that you come to Capitol Hill, you make friends with people across the aisle, you might not agree with them, you might actively yell at them during a committee hearing, and at the end of the day, maybe you all get dinner downtown. And that's the way a lot of politics used to be around here. And I think McConnell is displaying that of, we don't need to be in this position that we're all constantly arguing and can't get along with one another. And I think, looking to officials like that is, hopefully Americans can look at that and think, just because you don't agree with someone doesn't mean you have to think the worst of them. I don't know if you saw the photo of Congressman Raskin of Maryland hugging Congresswoman Boebert of Colorado on the Capitol steps yesterday. I thought that was so striking. I wish more people could see that, because it shows, they could fight, they disagree on literally everything. But at the end of the day, we're all Americans. We've had a tough week, and we can, give each other a hug, a pat on the back, whatever it is.
Yeah. So
Yeah, well, you would hope it would be that way, but I just feel like we are far past those times. I mean, I've been trying to tell people we all need to come together over that one common interest that we have, and that's fighting back against the billionaires, right? Like, the majority of us are not, I don't think any billionaires watching me, So I want to show you this here. So this account here on X or Twitter, Expose Charlie's Murderers. A searchable database of over 20,000 individuals celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder will soon be available on our website. It will be searchable by general location, employer, and industry type. Political violence can never be the answer. So this is how far it's going, guys. This is how far. Oz, my comrade from Beauty and the Boomer, can you make one for the genocide first? Oh, wait, never mind. They are both devastating to real human beings. Let's search out those truly responsible for actual murders and hold them accountable. Say no to any kind of violence. There are numerous videos circulating on Twitter and other platforms showing IDF soldiers celebrating, including dancing, singing, rejoicing, doing operations, often in the context of destruction or military achievements. Another comment here. Elon Musk posts this. I don't really know what Elon really means by this. If you are unfairly treated by your employer due to posting or liking something on this platform, we will fund your legal bill. No limit. Please let us know. I don't think Elon's actually going to do that, but whatever it is, what it is. Just a Thought says conditioning the general public for social credit scores and digital ID, walking directly into the trap. Yeah, I am 100% against this. 100% against doxing. And this website here, Expose Charlie's Murderers. It says Charlie Kirk was murdered, is an employee or a student. They're even including students with this, of yours supporting political violence online. Look them up on this website. Send information or anyone celebrating Charlie's death. Follow us on X and Twitter for Charlie Kirk. Attention, the website will soon be converted into a searchable database of over 30,000 submissions, filterable by general location and job industry. This is one thing I will say. You guys see this? And then it has the option for people here to make a submission. There's also a donation option, join the mailing list. And I just want to say this. I think this is something the left can learn. I will say this. Do you see how quickly the right mobilizes and organizes? The left doesn't do that. We don't mobilize and organize that quickly. Part of that has to do with funds, but another part of that it has to do with the fact that there's a lot of division here also on the left. But see how they just got together like that and said, let's just put this together, and it's dangerous. It is dangerous. So the fact that this is even here, that even exists, and there's no telling that they even have the right information for said person. But that's a hit list. That's exactly what I call it. And in there including students as well. Guys, I have never seen this for any other person. Not even popular celebrities who have been mocked, who have had their death mocked, etc. Something is array here. Like something is really not right. And I think people just need to be prepared, because this just does not make any sense. I've never seen it, never seen anything like this. And it makes me wonder, this account, it makes me wonder who this account, this Expose Charlie's Murders, who actually runs that account. because anybody can open an account on X. So it makes me wonder who is really running this account. People are asking, is it legal? I don't know. I don't even know, but it's dangerous. I know that. And I want to point out something else. This is why you guys have got to be careful, particularly, especially on Twitter. Bot farms. Israel controls thousands of fake social media profiles across platforms like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Gmail. These fakes persona bots spread propaganda, amplify narratives, and harass targets in real time. They like, share, comment, and repost each other's content to create the illusion of organic popularity and public consensus. I want to show you this here. Look at the video. So I have been trying to warn people about this for quite some time. Do not argue with the Zionists online. A lot of these accounts, they're not real people, but they want you to believe they are, right? So it's an illusion. And it's just a question of, do you believe the illusion? But do not argue with them online, block and move on, or just ignore, mute and ignore. Do not argue with them. We're living in some crazy times, guys. Like I said, people have lost their minds. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.